good morning. Today is Friday, August 27th, Erev Shabbat Parshat Ki Tavo. What does it mean to confess? What's the nature of confessional? We know that in our religious life around the high holidays, especially in the Slichos services, which we begin this Saturday night, and then we recite until Rosh Hashanah, and then after Rosh Hashanah all the way through Yom Kippur, and especially on Yom Kippur as well. We spend our time saying Ashamnu, Bagadnu, Gazalnu. We go through a list of things that we know we have done wrong, whether they are individually applied to us or applied to all of us collectively or thematically that are there. We spend time not only with that list, but hopefully doing our other work to assess and define and identify and then declare out loud, I've done a lot of wrong things. That is vidoy. That people are obligated to do that, to confess their sins that they have carried out before God. Strangely, in this week's parasha, after we just had the opening section about the bringing of bikurim, the Torah discusses a declaration that somebody makes about the maaser, the tithings, that they haven't done anything wrong with the food that they've tithed, and that they've made sure that it's gone to where it needs to go, and they haven't used it incorrectly, and they haven't kept it when they shouldn't have kept it. So that's an important declaration that you make, and that declaration is referred to as vidui maaser. Vidui maaser, confession around the maaser. Now, some will read this as a way to help ensure that a person will indeed do all they're supposed to do. If you're required to recite a confession, or excuse me, a declaration, I've done everything correctly, then hopefully that declaration will spur you to and ensure that you actually have gone through your checklist. So the Rashbam says, Kach tziva HaKadosh Baruch Hu kedei shelo ye'acher adam le'akev masrotav v'shaker lifnei HaKadosh Baruch Hu, that God commanded this so that a person shouldn't delay and shouldn't hold up on his tithe that should be given and not lie to God about it afterwards. What's fascinating is that there's a whole discussion about the possibility that people would lie about it, would actually make this declaration if they haven't done it. But what's most notable in the simple rendering here is that the vidoy, the confession, isn't over my sins. I confess over all that I've done right. It might be a checklist, but the fact that we refer to that as a vidoy is really important. Soloveitchik seems to share this idea in one discussion of Shechoran Ibn Ahava. But here's the essential point, right? That we tend to use our machzor in our hand and believe that the work of Rosh Hashanah and Yom Kippur and this whole season, which begins this Saturday night, and I hope you will join us for Slichot, whether they'll be outdoors or if it's raining indoors at a location to yet be determined. We spend the time thinking about, we're supposed to go through all the ways in which we're terrible, all the ways in which we have done rotten things, and and either we numb ourselves to it and we just go through pro forma because we don't want to do the work, or we do the work and we feel just terrible about ourselves, and it's okay to recognize a lot of the stuff that's not good in us. But if that is not associated with, if one does not ensure that alongside that there's a vidoy maaser, there is a confession of all that is good about you, then you're not going to have the personal strengths to ever achieve what you want to achieve of yourself. You can't just beat yourself up and lay yourself, although that's, God might want you to honestly lay yourself out so you can ask God for forgiveness. But if all the work is basically looking at yourself and saying, okay, here we go again, I'm wrong and wrong and wrong and bad and bad and bad and sinning and sinning and sinning, which those things might all be true, but if it's all that you see of yourself or believe that religion wants you to see of yourself, then either you'll reject religion or you won't do this work, and you won't really have done, ultimately, seen yourself for who you are. For who you are. for you are good, because you have a long list of things that you have done right this year. And I hope that as you prepare yourselves for the Yamim Noraim, it's a very hard year to prepare because it's the end of summer and school's kicking off and everything else and all the craziness of our world. But as you do the preparation, that you really hone in on the qualities about you which are good, which are your strengths. Upon those strengths, you build yourself further and help correct the things that need correcting. And you place yourself before God in the fullness of who you are. That is the lesson of Vidui Maaser, this confession of the tithes, which always happens, always is read about around the Shabbos before Rosh Hashanah, around Slichos time. May you learn all that is good in you, and let that be the building blocks for all that will be better. Wishing you a Shabbat Shalom, and hoping to have you daven with us at 11 p.m. this Saturday night. Again, look for any updates that will come out in emails about location. Hope you'll be with us. Shabbat Shalom.